こんな奴らがいるなんて知らずにいれば、俺はこんな半端なクソ野郎にならずに済んだのに。もう俺には何が正しいことなのかわからん。ただ俺のすべきことは自分のした行いや選択に対し戦士として最後まで責任を果たすことだ。
Alright guys, so it has certainly been some time since I've made a video, and something has happened recently that has made me, I guess at the very least, want to make a particular video, and then while I'm at it, I might as well start to continue making them. What has happened is, if you are at all a follower of this channel, there's a good chance you're going to know that Attack on Titan is my favorite series of anything I've ever seen, whether it's anime, cartoons, movies, whatever it may be. In my opinion, Attack on Titan is the greatest thing I have ever seen, okay? And it has been basically since I started reading the manga. I mean, it was definitely up there the moment that episode 31 of the anime hit. So I've been following it for a while, and if, you know, you've been under a rock or something, just so everyone is clear, the series is now over. The manga has finished. Chapter 139 has recently come out. It was the final chapter. The anime is going to be finished, it looks like, in about a year from now. So the anime onlys will get to see that ending. Or maybe they'll do it a little bit differently, actually. I don't know as far as that. But, so the reason I want to make this video is because, for some reason, it would appear that a substantial amount of people have very, very, very big problems with the final chapter of Attack on Titan. And I don't really understand it. I think that it was an absolutely fantastic chapter. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I won't give it a 10 out of 10. I'm not going to say it was absolutely perfect. Generally, any time I read any 10 out of 10 chapter or watch a 10 out of 10 episode of something, like episode 31 of Attack on Titan, I just kind of am sitting there mind blown. Maybe for even days on end, if it's that good. So I won't say that I had quite that reaction to it, but it was most certainly very good. And there's lots of very specific points that people are hitting that they either seem to not understand or just didn't like the idea of. So I kind of want to just tackle those things because I disagree with what most people are saying is that it was definitely a bad chapter. Some people are saying it's bad, but they can kind of ignore it and like the series overall. A lot of people are saying it was so bad that it ruined the entire series, which I find that unbelievable, quite frankly. So I really would like to shine some light on what I thought was good about it. Maybe particular things that people thought was bad. Maybe I can kind of show the way I interpreted it and see how maybe it's not so much of an issue. But yeah, that's basically my goal here. Just going through the chapter then in semi-chronological order. I kind of organized these different points in ways I thought it would make the most sense in a video format. The first thing I will say, before we get into anything as far as me defending it or saying what I thought was great, I will give you guys, the people who are upset with this chapter, I don't understand what the fuck the deal is with Historia's kid, okay? I mean, I've been saying, like, just when chapter 138 came out, I was saying, like, I don't really know how all this stuff is going to be resolved, considering, at the very least, we have Historia's kid to deal with. Now, sure, nothing necessarily had to happen, but it is bizarre that this kid was kind of built up to be something important. These really, like, cryptic cliffhangers and endings and just allusions toward this kid. It kind of seemed like something really important was going to happen. And, like, it's like, is Eren the father? As far as I'm concerned, that's clearly not the case at this point. But, I don't know. I do think it was super weird that Historia's kid never had anything to do with the story in any relevant manner. So, that was weird. I will give that. That is totally fine. I think that's weird. It's definitely not story-breaking or anything like that, but it is weird. But okay. So, talking about the good things, to reiterate, if you have maybe seen, I think I had about 4,000 views, so more than most of my Attack on Titan videos, I made a video when it was first being shown that Eren was activating the rumbling, that I think it was titled Eren Yeager is Totally Justified. Okay? I think that's what it was called. And I still very much believe that. I think that activating the rumbling was morally fine. I don't see any particular issues with it. To just really quickly explain what I mean by that, I mean, as far as my sense of morality goes, it's as long as someone is doing what they believe is right and correct and morally good, and they are open-minded enough to consider other possibilities as if maybe they are in the wrong. As long as they're open-minded and then they truly do believe that what they're doing is right, then that does make them morally correct, okay? That's the best way I can explain it really quickly, because I don't want to spend 30 minutes talking about philosophy and morality and all that shit. But that's my opinion. And so I believe that Eren choosing his friends over the rest of the world, or the people he grew up with at the very least, is morally fine, if that's what he thinks is best. That's exactly what I would do. If, the devil came up to me and said, all right, here is how this is going to go down. I am right now either going to Thanos snap all of your friends and family that you've met in your life, or 10 million random people in the world. I'm gonna kill, or I'm gonna choose for him to snap out those 10 million people, no hesitation. It's not even a question. I have nothing to do with them. I will be very upset by this. I'm not particularly happy that I'm having to make this decision, and a lot of people's lives are going to be destroyed. But at the end of the day, I believe that I owe it to the people that have loved and cared for me, and I have reciprocated that to whatever extent. So in my opinion, that would be the morally correct choice. I won't say you are wrong if you would go with the other route. It's just, if that's what you believe in, then I think that is right for you, and that is what I believe in. So I think that that's right for me. And I guess I'm aligned with Eren in this. So I don't think that he was morally wrong for doing this. And additionally, now we find out that he didn't even end up ending all of humanity. He's only killed about 80% of it. So that isn't, obviously, that might as well be 100% as far as how outrageous it is. But I did find that to be very interesting. I didn't think that that was going to happen. I really thought it was going to be an all or nothing kind of scenario. So I thought that that was very cool. It seems like a lot of people had an issue with that, but I don't really understand why. I like this idea that he hasn't completely wiped everyone out. He has made them to the point where they're extremely weak now, and they're not going to be able to just annihilate Paradise out of straight vengeance. He is kind of resetting the world so that Paradise is on the same level as everyone now, and everyone can kind of try to resolve all these conflicts, all of these bitter feelings towards each other. I think that's really cool. I think he is leaving everything in the hands of those people that he loves and believes in, and I think that was a really good idea. I didn't consider that, and I love it. So, awesome job, Isayama, on that one. It seems to be working all right. Everyone isn't just going to war immediately. The warriors are working as ambassadors, basically, towards Paradise. Okay, so while there are definitely some tensions, it seems like it's working to an extent. I also do appreciate the open-endedness of it. Maybe that's just what we're seeing, and then it's going to end up being really bad down the road. I don't know. But at this point, it seems generally all right. It was a cool idea. I didn't want a Code Geass kind of ending where everything's perfect. It's like, oh, everything's resolved now. Everyone's happy. They saved the world. That's not something I wanted. I don't think that that is an Attack on Titan type of ending. So this open interpretation, or that's not even necessarily what it is, it's just open-ended, as in we don't know exactly what's going to happen. I like that. I think that's really cool. So as far as that goes, I thought that that was good. A lot of people have an issue with the whole Ymir thing. So, I mean, we find out that she basically had Stockholm Syndrome towards Karl Fritz, okay? So that's nothing, like, amazing. It's not like, oh my god, what a genius idea. Like, Reiner is a really interesting case of mental illness, you could say. So it's nothing quite as awesome as Reiner, but it's fine. I don't really see anything wildly wrong with it. That is something that does actually happen. So then what is interesting is that she is enslaved for these thousands of years, kind of using the power of the Titans as she is forced to. By herself, to be fair, like she is, choosing to do this, but she feels enslaved. And so I thought it was fine that Mikasa comes along and, similar to her, is kind of in love with Eren in a way that probably isn't the most reasonable, right? I mean, Erin's alright, for sure, but she seems overly attached to him, for sure. So she's, comparable to Ymir in that regard. And then Ymir is able to see Mikasa in this state like she is, actually break away from that enslavement by ending up killing Eren to save the world. Which, by the way, is, in a way, a complete opposite choice of what Eren made to do with the world. So I thought that was cool. I don't have an issue with the idea that Ymir sees this and is like, well, shit, if she can do it, then I have no excuse. I think it's totally reasonable. Again, it's not the greatest thing. I wasn't like, oh my god, that's so amazing. But it was totally fine. I didn't really see any huge issue with it, as a lot of people are saying it is story breaking. So I don't know on that one. Then a lot of people, this was a huge problem that people had, was when Eren and Armin are talking in paths, Eren gets to a point where he kind of is breaking down, whining a little bit about how he wants Mikasa to always have feelings for him. He wants her to always be thinking about him and not end up with some other guy. And now I understand how people are like, okay, that's definitely selfish, because it is. But first of all, just to be clear, if anyone was in this scenario, that is how you're going to feel. You want that person to always be thinking about you. That's just how it is. I don't really know what to say to people that believe that's not the case. I don't mean to be insulting or anything, but I would reckon there is a good chance that you've never been in any intimate relationship if you can't at least understand that kind of feeling. Now, what's even more important than any of that is that Eren then goes on to say, don't tell Mikasa I said any of that. I want her to be happy, of course. Okay? He feels this way, like he wishes that she would always be thinking about him, but at the end of the day, he cares about her feelings more than his, and he wants her to be happy. So he's kind of, the guy is literally dying. Like, these are his final words. So he's kind of just pouting a little bit. Can you blame the guy? Like, with everything he's gone through, and now this is it. These are his final words, basically. Like, yeah, okay, he wishes that she would always just love him, but obviously that's not going to happen. Well, I don't know, it's Mikasa actually, so maybe, but that's not the point. He would prefer overall for her to end up with someone else so she ends up being happy, okay? So I don't really understand what the issue was with that one. I personally was just happy that Isayama actually gave us some kind of resolution to that relationship, okay? Because with almost any anime I've ever seen, nothing like this is ever resolved. No one ever knows how both parties actually felt, so I'm very happy that we got straight up answers that both Mikasa loved Eren and vice versa, okay? So I thought that was great. I was actually very happy with that scene. I'm surprised that so many people found that to absolutely destroy Eren's character, which had been built up since the time skip. So I don't understand that. I thought it was fantastic. Again, the people that seem to have an issue with that, I feel like I don't know why you wouldn't be able to understand that kind of feeling. So, I don't know. Maybe explain it to me in the comments. Maybe I'm the stupid one. Then additionally, it's worth noting, people seem to be getting hung up on this idea that Armin, he's crying and he's like, wow, it's so great that you did all of this for us. That is not him saying that he believes that this was the right thing to do, which, by the way, I think it was the right thing to do. I've already said that. But Armin does not, okay? Armin literally says, I will not let this error go to waste, okay? So he's calling what Eren did, this atrocity, an error. He knows that this was wrong in his mind. Okay, so while he is moved by the idea that Eren is doing horrible things that Eren doesn't want to do for his friends, he still considers it wrong. So again, I don't see what the issue is with that. Just like, for example, if someone did something bad to me, like something really bad, and then one of my friends or something just found out about that and found that person and beat the shit out of them or something, I'd be like, listen, I appreciate that you did that. I appreciate that someone being rude to me would get you so riled up. But we probably shouldn't have done that, you know. That's probably not the best move. It's like the same thing. I don't understand what the contention really is with that point. Additionally, I guess really too, getting down to the end of things here. I mean, there was that. But then just talking about something I don't think that anyone can disagree with, is that Levi's ending was absolutely perfect in my opinion. I think he really got the best ending out of anyone, just seeing his little finale there with him putting his hand over his heart and seeing all of his fallen comrades. I mean, it was perfect. Levi really is, the final member of the Survey Corps that was not part of the 104th or after. He is all that's left. He knows that all of these people sacrificed themselves to get to this point, and he's just standing there. He kind of always was a lonely person, and that's how he is now after everything, which is sad, but he seems to be content with the situation, okay? He still has those people in his heart. I thought it was fantastic. We most certainly got some emotion from him in the very end, which was not just pulled out of Isayama's ass. It was delivered very well. So I was very happy with Levi's ending. I have, thank God, not heard anyone say anything negative about that. So that's at least good. But right, those were the main issues with the chapter, and then the good thing at the end for sure, that I don't see how anyone could have an issue with that. I don't really understand why people are having such problems with this chapter. I get that it wasn't perfect. It wasn't an absolute 10 out of 10 out of the park chapter like we frequently get from Attack on Titan, and it's unfortunate that that would be the case in the final chapter, because it's the final thing. This is what everyone's anticipated, and you would like it to end the series with that 10 out of 10. But at the end of the day, can you really complain about a 9 or even an 8 or a 7, for God's sake? Like, as long as it's not just a complete piece of shit, then I don't know why anyone would really be complaining. I would have preferred to have a 10 out of 10 for the very end. It's disappointing because, there's no way to redeem it now to get it up to that 10 because it's all over. But at the end of the day, I think it was very good. A lot of the issues people are having with it, I don't really know. I think it's misdirected hate. I really think it's just that people are upset that it wasn't perfect for the conclusion, and so they have this reaction where they kind of just beat down all of these different points and kind of shit on the whole thing. I think that it's really bad. I'm not happy about that at all. Even if you really do believe the things that are being said, it's like, this series is so good. Like, can we at the very least just be respectful towards Isayama? I don't know. Attack on Titan for me, it absolutely changed my life. Like I said, it's the greatest series I've ever seen, and it has very much influenced a lot of the things that I do in life. So even if I was to be upset with the ending, I thought it was really bad, I would say, well, you know what? Which I don't. But I'd say, you know what? That sucks, but thank you very much, Isayama, for all your hard work. I can't believe that you were able to create something like this. It just blows my mind on a regular basis thinking about all the great things that have happened. And I don't know why we can't leave it at that. Everyone has this nasty attitude, and I absolutely hate it. I really do. And I guess that is what made me want to make this video. Almost just a desperate attempt to have people take another look at this chapter and see it in a different way, because both I don't like seeing it, and of course I want people to experience Attack on Titan in the best way they possibly can. So if I'm able to make it seem any better, then I will be very happy, and I will have accomplished my objective as far as making this video goes.